Good evening. We are delighted and very grateful to be sharing this platform with two wonderful charities. I was assured I'm not in competition with them. I'm very happy for this. And I'm very, very grateful for the generosity in this room. Many of us were deeply moved by the TV show Adolescence, which touched hearts of millions and challenged us to rethink our approach to crime and punishment. For those who have not seen it, Adolescence is a Netflix series that follows the story of 13-year-old Jamie, who is arrested for the murder of a schoolmate and is likely to be sentenced to life in prison. While Jamie is a fictional character, to me, he represents many of the young people I meet in prisons. Adolescence shows what happened before the crime, but what happens when Jamie arrives in prison? That's where the show ends and where the Zahid Mubarek Trust work starts. This work includes extensive educational and mentorship support for young people like Jamie, so they can address their mistakes and rehabilitate as early as possible. Without such meaningful support, a prison service merely becomes a warehouse, very expensive warehouse for people. The trust was born out of tragedy, but today it stands as a beacon of hope and relentless advocacy. It was founded by the family in memory of Zahid Mubarek, a 19-year-old brutally killed by his racist cellmates just hours before he was due to be released. The ZMT transforms grief into purpose. We now work in 60 prisons, providing external scrutiny and support to reduce racial disparities. In every prison we enter, with every individual we support, Zahid's legacy lives on. While we recognize the need for systemic change surrounding racial equality and rehabilitation, we also believe in empowering people within the system to be part of the change. That's how the Equality Advocate Project was born, a bold, transformative initiative that trains and equips prisoners to pursue personal and professional growth, while they are also working to improve the culture in their prisons. However, this project is about more than individual development. It is a movement for positive culture change. Through intensive training, mentoring, and structured peer-led work, equality advocates are empowered to support their peers and work constructively with staff to drive meaningful change from within. Since its launch nearly 4 years ago, we have trained over 350 equality advocates in 17 prisons, with great success and commendation from the Prison Service and Inspectorate of Prisons. This year, we want to take the project into youth custody, to reach children and young people who made a grave mistake, but who still deserve the chance to find hope and purpose, rather than to be lost to resentment and despair. There are currently 502 children and young people in the youth custody. Of these, over 55% come from ethnic minority backgrounds. It's estimated that more than 65% have care experience and over 75% have learning needs. While the overall number of children is declining, which is something to celebrate, the proportion from ethnic minority backgrounds is rising. Yet, despite these stark disparities, only 5% of charities working in prisons are led by and for ethnic minority communities. Representation and relatability matter, especially when engaging with children and young people who have been systematically failed. Let me introduce you to Dom. When I interviewed him last year for the Equality Advocate Project, he was sentenced when he was just 15. He is about to turn 25. And next week, he will stand before the parole board, hoping they will see who he has become, not just what he did once. He said something that brought me here today. He asked me to work with young people who are starting their sentences now. Catch them before they fall, he said. Dom has excelled on the project. We have prepared him for his parole hearing, But that does not mean that we ignore the harm he caused. We simply refuse to let his past define his future. We choose to see children and young people not through the lens of their worst mistake, but through the light of their potential. We could take a leaf from Zahid's family, whom, despite suffering of unimaginable grief, found courage and compassion to go back to prisons and see people not just for what they did, but who they could become. We all have a choice. We can turn away from a system that houses traumatized children and young people and remain silent as it breaks them further, or each of us can choose to play a role in helping them to return to society as healed, educated, and empowered adults. With your support today, we aim to reach at least 180 participants over the next 3 years. I'm asking for £10,000 to pilot 3 sessions in youth custody, enabling us to refine the model before its further expansion. But I'm also asking something more. I'm asking your compassion, your time, and your expertise. Come with us and meet with those young people you are supporting and see for yourself the magic we can create together when we give someone hope. Thank you.